What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, Lions Talk Live. It's a morning show edition, and want to get some stuff over to you guys. We're going to do an analyzation today, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail for today's show. We're going to break down the 2025 draft picks, why they were taken, how they're going to fit in, blend in with the team, and maybe some of the expectations for them all. Hey, it's the offseason. We all get it. We've got just a couple months until we get to actually a training camp this year, just because of the way things happen to set up. You're going to get it sooner versus later. You're going to get through, some of the things that lead up to training camp. We're going to get into it. But I do think that there's a real good take to be had with each of these guys when you break down the personality traits for each of the players selected. I think we'll see a lot of commonality. I'm also going to throw a question out there. Do we have two Detroit Lions rookies that maybe should get with Troy Polamalu and do a Head and Shoulders commercial? I think they've got the locks for it, and that would be Isaac Tisla and then Tyleik Williams. I think both of them got a promising career. We'll leave that for another show, another debate, though, at some other point in the future. All right, real quick, before we get into the head and shoulders of it all, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that march on all the way up to the top, to the deluxe apartment that is 13,700 subs, and we are just 21 subs away. So if you can help out with that, that would be great. Also, if you have a free second of time, it doesn't cost a dang dime. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. So if you can assist with that, I would be very thankful. Last but never least, perhaps you're bored this upcoming weekend. Perhaps you just like reading. Perhaps you just, hey, like good stories. Then go to Amazon.com or wherever you find great reading literature and order yourself a copy of Kajora Book. It is the first in a 9-part series. The second book comes out later this year. These are historically accurate events with allegedly fictional characters. So if you like Japanese, Native American cultures, Chinese cultures, some of the mythology and anos that go with all those aspects, Native American warriors, samurais, ninjas, etc., then you may enjoy this book. Go ahead and order yourself a copy. If you like it, leave a kind review. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get into the show. Let's get it rocking and rolling and going, and get going with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines now. Working hard to get these things, but hey, we got these things. Detroit Lions looking for positional versatility from the 2025 draft pick, story by Mike Moratis of the Sporting News. And yeah, I think Moratis is right. You've got some guys over here that can perhaps move around a little bit, play different spots, and we'll start right here with the offensive line. You look at both Frazier and Ratledge. These are going to be guys that obviously make the list. They can play different spots. They can play guard. Frazier can play center. But to be fair, Ratledge and Frazier have also, during their college careers, went on and played tackle. So we all look at the Lions' offensive line. We all get it that these guys, they like to have versatility everywhere, whether it's offensive line, defensive line, receiver. I mean, you get it across the board. That's what they want. But we have talked in recent years, because of all the injuries to Frank Ragnow, because the shoulder injuries, the pec injuries, the toe injuries, the foot injuries, even though he's not incredibly old by NFL standards, he is pretty beat up. Could one of these guys eventually move over and be the replacement? If it was my guess, right now, that person would be Miles Frazier. While Ratledge, I think, is going to probably remain at guard, doesn't mean Ratledge couldn't eventually play a tackle position in need or just maybe in the future. But both of them bring in some versatility for the Lions, and that's probably a good news fit for the team. Now, as far as some other people that could be flexible with the incoming draft class, I guess you could say Tisla, just because he can play all the wide receiver spots out there. Not a big surprise. There has even been some speculation, while I don't really know if the Lions are going to invest a ton of time in it, that Tyleik Williams could play the big end because of his speed, his athleticism. He has slimmed down to about 230 pounds, so he's no longer 240, 250. We'll get into that a little bit during the main topic of the day. So either way, whether you really believe Williams can play to the big end or just stay inside as the DTI, where I think he's going to stay, you can see with the Lions offensive line picks, a lot of versatility. You can see with Tisla, he can play all the wide receiver spots. Dan Jackson, the safety, I guess you could say he could be like an Iffy Melifano in time, play both safety spots, maybe even some slot. Although, again, I think he's had such limited time in college. Really, he was a starter for 1 year. I would be cautious with that. Dominic Lovett, I don't know enough about to have a comment on, to be fair, so I'm going to have to watch him this preseason to give you more information on that. But per this story and report, the Lions do draft for versatility, Swiss Army knife mentalities. It does seem like, at least to some extent, many of their picks can achieve just that. We'll see what shakes out more with them over in time as the Lions coaching staff gets their hands on them, develops them more, probably see more and more of them flex all around the board and try to help out in multiple positions. So could some of the, just for example, could some of them play the skipper role and be the big tight end in time as far as Ratledge or Frazier or maybe somebody else? I don't know. Maybe it's in their wheelhouse. We'll see, but I'm sure the Lions are going to work with them irregardless on that very factor. So see where it goes in time. All right, next one of the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions approval poll. GM Brad Holmes post-2025 NFL draft. SB Nation, story by Jeremy Risman. And Risman, as you guys know, covers this team a whole lot, maybe as much as anybody else out there. Ran a poll, and here's what we'll go through it. Just looking at his approval rating through his tenure. March 2021, pre-free agency. He'd just been hired in. Probably not much to think negatively about him. He had a 97%. Brad Holmes had a 97% approval rating with the fan base. May 21, after the draft, it went on up. It went to 98%. September 21, post cuts dropped to a 90%. October 21, 87%. November 21, 79%. But then December of that same year, remember, the Lions had a little bit of a run, had the big upset win over the Arizona Cardinals, who at that point were the number 1 team in the NFL, closed out the year with a win against Green Bay at Ford Field, skyrocketed back up to 97%, and that remained in January 22 at 97%. Now, let's go to March 22, post-free agency, pre-free agency, 96%, May post-draft, 99%. September 22, 95%. October 22, 82%. But again, what happens after that October? The Lions go on a little bit of a run. Hey, everybody's on board. They're the hot new team in the NFL. 97% by November. January 23, 99%. I get it, man. They just finished the season in Green Bay. Hey, we got that win. Aaron Rodgers, you're out of here. Lions are feeling maybe like they are the most upcoming team in the NFL, and probably NFL, you could say, from a marketing standpoint, started understanding that, which is why we got flexed that late night, Sunday night game. Even though we knew at that point when the game kicked off, you couldn't make the playoffs with Lions. They were at 99%. April 2023, pre-draft, 98%. October 23, 99%. February 24, 99%. May 24, 99%. October 24, 99%. So you get it. Brad Holmes has got a long track record of success, or at least the fans being happy. And as of right now, when this story was written, he's at a 98%. So Lions fans still believe in Brad Holmes. Might not always understand some of the draft moves, selections, trades, etc. But I think we can all agree the Lions fan base overall are pretty dang smitten with this guy and like what he's done with the franchise during his tenure. All right, Detroit Lions struggled, quote, filling one of the biggest offseason needs. Story by Matt Lombardo of Gridiron Heroics. And I do not know Gridiron Heroics, but what are they talking about? Probably not a big surprise here. The Lions struggled to find a reliable partner and then replacement to their star pass rusher throughout 2024. Benjamin writes, and this is also a story that he wrote the second time with CBS Sports. We get it. The Lions want another pass rusher. The fans want another pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. The story goes on, breaks it on down, does talk about Ahmed Hassanian being potentially that guy in time as he develops. And yes, I'm going to keep killing that name. I'm going to keep working on it, though. But you know what? By preseason training camp, I'm going to have it down for sure, probably along with everybody else. It's an interesting story. He goes through a lot of different stuff that the Lions try to acquire. If you wanted to read it, you got some time today or this weekend. Talks about how the Lions had conversations with Josh Sweats, Joey Bosa, Hassan Reddick, Leonard Floyd, all amongst a gajillion other people. They just couldn't work it out where it worked for both sides, lost out some bidding wars for some guys, or at least they got contracts that were just, the Lions front office said, yeah, we're not going to invest that kind of money into somebody who's not a Lion already. So we get it. Lions want to take care of their own. They don't want to cause any issues in the locker room. Lions, I think that's one of the more brilliant things this organization has done during the MCDC Brand Holmes tenure. That locker room believes if you're drafted, you stay here, you develop here, you put in the work, they're going to reward you first and foremost. They're not going to look for outside sources for the most part to come on in and help the team, free agency, etc. The Lions have done a good job with it, and that's why I think a lot of the names we just listed to potentially become edges for the team have not emerged, because they will not give that kind of money, for the most part, to people who weren't drafted here. Could they be right, though? Could the Detroit Lions, are they still struggling to fill that big edge spot opposite Hutch? We'll wait and see. Clearly, the team thinks they've got some weapons there, some opportunities there, some people in play. We'll see if some of those guys can rise to the occasion. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Lions mailbag. What does structure of Kirby Joseph's contract say about cap strategy? Question mark. Nolan Blanchie of Detroit News with this one. And he does a pretty good job with things. If you guys haven't checked him out, I think most of you guys know who the big players are with the free press. Blanchie probably doesn't get enough credit. But when you break down and edit down, I guess you'd say, Kirby Joseph's contract, what does it mean for Jameson Williams, Brian Branch, all the other people in play who are going to probably be looking at this? Kirby Joseph's contract, if you haven't seen the numbers on it, they came out in earnest last week. I think it's actually a pretty team-friendly deal. According to Over the Cap, Joseph's record-setting extension, 4 years, $86 million, in case you don't remember, is not quite what it seems on the surface, at least in the context of the Lions' immediate salary cap outlook. His cap hits of $5.8 million in 2026, $9.2 million in 27, $13 million in 28, and we'll just round up and say $18 million in 2029 over the 4 years of the deal. The Lions used option bonuses and voidable years to push most of the money until 2030, when he'll have a cap hit of $39 million. Let that sink in. So the bulk of his contract comes down to 1 year, $39 million in 2030, and it's a voidable team year. I'm going to, I hope Kirby Joseph is nothing but a Hall of Famer for this team. He picks off every pass ever thrown against the Detroit Lions, but I think most of us can look at that and say that season's never going to happen. I would assume Kirby Joseph's agency and representation also agreed on that. So the rest of the years, this year, $6 million for one of the, under $6 million for one of the best safeties in the game. That's a steal. You could even say $10 million in 2 years from now, or under $10 million at $9.2 million is a steal. $13 million in 28. That's why I think it's starting to be, by today's standards, a little bit more on par with what the big names get. But also think about this. That's 3 years down the road. What is the salaries for someone of his tenure, his status, like in 3 years? It's probably going to be way higher than $13 million. Let's see, $18 million in 29. Again, same thoughts. What's the average superstar safety going to get paid 3 to 4 years from now? It's probably way more than $18 million. So the Lions, I think Kirby Joseph did us a solid. A lot of people kind of scoffed at the numbers when it came out, but when you break it on down, now that you know that the final year is a voidable year and it's basically $39 million in that season, then that's where the base, almost half of his salary goes into one season. And yes, the Dogs are letting you know that, hey, they think this is a pretty good steal of a deal for the team. All right, last the 5 headlines now. Lions already have their game of the year circled, even before the schedule release. Sideline report by Cameron Ellis. So I was going to do this actually as the main topic of the day. I think I'm going to do it either later this week, break this down more. But if you guys had to look right now at the schedule for all the teams we're going to play in the upcoming season, who would you mark as your game of the year? And I'm not going to get into the story because, again, I'm going to run a similar version of it later this week, maybe early next week. Heck, I might as well just do it tomorrow before the schedule gets released next week. But I think there's some real potential for the Lions team, from a player standpoint, coaching standpoint, probably a fan standpoint, to circle 1, maybe 2 games on that schedule and saying, hey, I don't really care about the 49ers. I don't care about the Rams. We've already been there and done that a gajillion times with Matt Stafford. But I'm going to guess most Lions fans and Lions players, Lions employees have got 2 games circled on that schedule, probably circled, highlighted, put up on the wall when those dates are released. And I'm guessing most of you guys can figure out where I'm going with that. We'll break that on down a little bit more in another episode of the show. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get on over to the main topic of the day. Main topic of the day, as you can tell from today's thumbnail, 2025 Detroit Lions NFL draft picks, how each of them will blend on the field and within the Lions culture. I think it's fair to say you look around the league and you see teams that establish culture first and foremost. I would say you probably, if you had to name somebody who isn't the Detroit Lions, you would say the Pittsburgh Steelers have a culture. You probably say the Baltimore Ravens have a culture, and there's some other teams for sure out there. Detroit Lions have become one of those groups, though, that you could say, hey, if you're drafted here, you fit a particular style of personality, style of player, the whole shebang-a-bang, and we're going to go through this. We're going to start off with oh boy, where did I put it? I actually made a few graphics. I didn't have enough time to make them for everybody. But hey, start off right here. Tyreek Williams, right off the bat, one of the draft's best run-defending linemen, and will be appreciated by NFL coaches, even though I can't always speak. All right, we get it. Williams, when he came into college, he was reportedly somewhere around 300 and we'll say, 370 pounds or something like that. Probably a little bit too big. But you know what? He slimmed down. He put in a lot of work, put a lot of effort, listened to the coaching staff. Had some talks with Coach Ryan Day. If you guys know anything about the Ohio State program, I know some stuff about it. I'm not a Michigan fan, as most of you know. I watch Michigan just because most of my friends, family, watch either Michigan or Michigan State, so I end up watching it with them, but I'm a USC fan. Any rate, Williams, though, he fits a certain type of player. He falls in line with the DJ Reader. When you look at his personality, as far as his character, he's always in the conversation of being a team leader over there at Ohio State, and I think that's really attractive to the Detroit Lions. You think about the fact that he was voted in some ways to be a team captain, that he puts in a lot of off-the-field work for his football game to develop his skills, that he works with some of the younger players at Ohio State trying to help them develop. Last year, or the year before, I should say, he decided to come back to Ohio State versus entering the NFL draft to try to help his team achieve a victory. When Ohio State lost to the University of Michigan later in the season, or late in the season, I should say, the regular season of college football, he was one of a couple different people to request a players-only meeting for the Buckeyes before they went into the playoffs, etc., of college football, and that resonated with the Detroit Lions. It showed leadership. Everything I just listed. This is the type of person you want in your locker room. Takes ownership for not only himself, but to help initiate, some kind of kumbaya collective for the rest of the team. He wants everybody looking a certain way and going in that path. Think about the Detroit Lions. Think about Dan Campbell, how he tries to lead the team, how Kelvin Shepard tries to lead the team. And you can mention Ben Johnson when he was here, or Aaron Glenn when he was here. Think about Brad Holmes, the type of style of individuals they all are. Ask yourself, would Tyleik Williams fit in with them? I think so. And when you break it down, everything I just listed, he seems like a Detroit Lions type personality through and through. Now, you look at the player on the field, the fact that he's going to be a nose tackle or a DTI, there's at least some conversation that he could play big end at time to time because of his athleticism. We'll wait and see. There have been some reports that the Lions may ask him to slim down a little bit, maybe in an attempt to play him a little bit more as a big end. I don't know, man. We'll see if that holds water, but I think we all get it. He's got a lot of the right mental and physical stuff that the Detroit Lions look for. All right, next on the list, and I do not have graphics for everybody, so, don't get too upset with me. But Tate Ratledge, you guys know him. Hey, they want to call him, you can see it self-described as a dirt bag, and I get some people call him that or whatever. He's a big bad boy who likes to hit people. I think that's what you can summarize. He likes to get physical. He likes to get dirty. He likes to drop elbows. He likes to just, annoy people. When we drafted him, if you guys remember, I called him the Bill Laimbeer of the Detroit Lions now. Because if you guys remember Bill Laimbeer when he played for the Detroit Pistons, the teammates loved him. And I mean loved him, would go to war for him. The fans loved him. But if you are not a Detroit Pistons fan or player, front office person, you absolutely hated him. And that's what I think you're getting with this guy. We talk about what the Lions look for. We get that he was, depending on your board, he was a top 2 to maybe top 5 guard in the NFL draft. A lot of people had him, universally ranked as the number 3 ranked guard. Was a 4-year starter at Georgia. So think about that. You won 2 national championships. You're a key part of that. He can play zone. He can play gap assignments on the offensive line. He can pull. You can use him in just a multitude of different ways. He's also very good at recognizing blitz concepts and pickups. Can help recognize and pass that information across the offensive line. So he's got an eye for stuff. The other component, now that we don't talk just about the physical on the field as far as the skills, pay attention to this. Ratledge was a team captain for one of the best programs in the country, receiving 95% of the votes from Georgia's 130-man team roster to be a captain. Think about that. 95% of his teammates liked him, believed in him, whatever you want, however you want to term it and word it, enough to where they said, he needs to be one of our leaders. Does that sound like a Detroit Lions type of guy? I think the answer is yes. You can have your own opinion, but that's my opinion on it. So go from there. The fact that, we mentioned this during the 5 headlines now, the fact that he can play guard, some center, he can play tackle, especially right tackle. He has versatility. Could he get on the field sooner versus later for the Lions? We'll wait and see what shakes out. But the fact that he's a team captain, done all the little things, kind of annoying player to play against, does sound like a Detroit Lions player if you ask me. All right, next one. I don't have a graphic for, so please forgive me. Isaac Tisla. Not going to spend a lot of time on him just because I feel like he has been one of the more talked about players in the Detroit Lions draft class. We all get it. He's 6'4", runs a 4.43, the whole shebang bang, 220 pounds. He can play multiple different spots, the X, Y, and the Z spots in just about any NFL offense, all that kind of stuff. Now, where you want to break down the character, though, think about his rise to the NFL. This is a guy who played for Hillsdale College. If you don't know, you probably do know by now, but smaller rural community, small college, got an opportunity his, final year in college football to go play for Arkansas, played Division I, etc. And you know what? He had an okay, I think it's fair to say he had an okay season there, not a great season. He wasn't even going to go to the Senior Bowl until I think it was 3 or 4 people got injured, couldn't make it. So now he got his opportunity. And the guy went Roy Hobbs with it. Not everybody will get that reference. He went up there and he crushed it because he probably would have been an undrafted free agent or a late round NFL pick if it's not for the Senior Bowl. But he got the Senior Bowl. He blasted everybody who tried to defend him and put him in the ground, especially in run blocking assignments. You all know that story by now. He has risen to the top to where we had a video a couple days ago where you got the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman, right now probably considered the most brilliant NFL GM out there. Howie Roseman wanted to move up and steal this guy from the Detroit Lions. steal him from the LA Rams, steal him from, I'm trying to remember who the other teams were. I know Denver was one of them, but you guys get it. This guy who most across national media thinks is the best GM out there, he wanted this guy. And this is, everything I just said, the reasons why. So the fact that the Lions were able to get him, add him to this mix, I think it's a huge thing. By the way, there's been a video that came out, I want to say on Pride to Detroit yesterday or the day before. If you want to see a video of when he's drafted, go and check it out. And he's wearing a Tesla shirt, I think, all that stuff. But I didn't have the video, and I don't want to mess with the video. I don't want YouTube coming down at me. All right, Miles Frazier. And I'm not going to go through all the guys. I'll go through a few more here just because I'm realizing, wow, I've already gone on a while with this main topic. Miles Frazier, I think everybody out there understands why he was considered one of the better players, maybe a round 2 pick. If you watch the film on him, he's not Ratledge as far as a dirtbag or whatever, but he is a grader. He is somebody who will just quietly assassinate you if you're on the other side of the line. If you're not ready to get physical, then that's probably bad news because Miles Frazier is ready to get physical. He doesn't say a whole lot. You can see it with his personality. He's kind of reserved. He's not going to be a troublemaker or anything like that. At least nothing he suggests that in his past. But he's just somebody, gets that lunch pail, puts it up, and says, what do I need to do today, coach? Goes out there, and he will obliterate people in run blocking assignments. Pass blocking, I think it's pretty decent. I think it can get a little bit better. But for whatever reason, he fell into the 5th round. Lions clearly identified the talent, traded up to get him, and it would be my anticipation 2 to 3 years from now, we're going to say that was one of the bigger steals in the draft. Same like we're talking about potentially with Christian Mahogany. Lions might have found some real great fits for their future offensive line in the later rounds of the draft. Frazier pairs his impressive size at guard at 6'6", 320 pounds with a Mauler's mentality. I already talked about it. But you look at his freshman All-American status when he first came in. Frazier used the opportunity to transfer to SEC to prove that he could go up against bigger and better competition. That's where I think the Lions fell in love with him. Check out his rise and ascension to LSU. He's constantly showing throughout his tenure in high school, in college, he wants to play against bigger and better, stronger competition. He doesn't want to stay pat. He's always looking to challenge himself to go further and further upwards. That's one of the more impressive things to me. It's easy to just say, hey, I'm on the best team out there, and I'll just use Ohio State out there since they won the national championship. I'm surrounded by great talent. I'm going to look good because you can't just focus on me. Frazier's not that case. He wanted to go on there, and even if it wasn't a great situation, he has shown throughout his life he wants to go out there and say, you know what, I'll make you guys better by me being here. Follow me to the promised land. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I'll go through real quick. Ahmed Hussein here, just because we all like him. I'm not going to spend time on this. You guys have seen the videos. You've heard 20 other people talk about it. But you talk about all the other draft picks, and doesn't this guy kind of fit that to a T? He wants to go out there and prove that he is worth it. He's got a chip on his shoulder, just like we talked about with Penei Sewell when he was drafted, St. Brown, and a gajillion other current Lions. This guy's got a massive chip on his shoulder. You all seen the video. You've seen the intro on this show. He'll die on the field trying to prove it. And not only does he make the team better as far as the defense, but think about going against that dude every day in practice. You can't sit back. You can't take a snap off. If he does, he's just going to outwork you. So I like it. Dan Jackson, I just don't have time to go through him and love it. We'll have to say that for another time. But I think we all get it. Lions have a culture here. Let me know your thoughts on all these guys. I'm personally excited to see all of them because I think what they bring to the table. All right, I went on way too long with this main topic today, so apologies for that. Let's go over to the Duke Crew, and we got about 30 minutes for me to power through as many as I can. I may have to go game show auctioneer mode to try to make through it, but let's see what we can do. Greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke Crew! Exclamation point, one pride, woo! And back at you, Stephanie. Good morning, boys! Exclamation point. Working today, and hopefully it's a slow one. I'm excited for a few of these rookies. Me too. Hopefully they can all contribute to some degree, and I think they will. Whether or not it's their first year, second year, wait and see. Clark, yo. And good morning, all. I think Frazier will be the biggest surprise and steal for us. I can see that. Maybe Tisla. Tisla, man, there's so much hype about this kid. We'll see what shakes out. But Frazier, I agree. I think he brings a whole lot. And like I just talked about, the fact he wants to continually push himself and try to make everybody else better along with himself, that speaks to the volume of the man. Silver Server, good morning, Coach and everyone. Same to you, Pat. Morning, Duke Crew. Coach, I want to give you credit yesterday. Oh, boy. Here we go. I read through some drama that goes with running the show. I don't know how you put up with that day in and day out. Would drive me nuts. You know, the only thing I'll say, and I'm not going to spend any real time on this, is, hey, I put together the show. I try to make it as universally, hopefully acceptable to everybody. I can't make everybody happy. I try to do the best I can. And, I can't control who writes what in the comment section. I have given out some warnings in the past. I've banned a few people here and there. That's the only thing I'll really say about it. So I try to make everybody happy, but you guys know it, man. If you're more than 10 years old, you probably get it. You can't make everybody happy. Hookadoo, good, and good to see you too. Steve, good morning, Coach and crew! Exclamation point. Shout out to Lions Talk Live. Hey, thanks for that, man. Best host in crew on YouTube. I'll agree with that. The Duke crew is awesome. Can I get a woo for the crew? You want a woo? I'll give you a woo. How about I scroll around and try to find them since I moved everything around and give you a 1, 2, 3. Woo it up in here. Silver Service, Stephanie Water. Let them all go, Stephanie. I wonder if she will. Five Fingers Freddy. I seen some of that, Pat. Shake my head. Hey, but regarding the rookies, I doubt many touch the field in the regular season this year. Our vet talent is too strong. Yes, I mean, I don't know if all the rookies will make the team. I think there's some probability, really only a few of them will, maybe 4 or 5 of them. Well, that being said, I do fully agree with you, Five Fingers, that this 53-man roster is just going to be stock loaded with talent. It's going to be tough for anybody, rookie or veteran, to make the team. So, Samo, what happened, Pat Rock? Question mark. I didn't see anything on the show yesterday. Well, I'll leave that for you guys to investigate. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. One pride. We are going to be like a little kid when finding a lost puppy come cut time. Can't we keep them all, Mom? Yeah, 100%. And there'll be some great players. I wouldn't be surprised if Brad Holmes, talks to some teams, or some teams talks to us and say, hey, we'll give you a 7th-round pick for this guy that we know you're cutting, etc. Lions could maybe walk away with a few 7th-round picks. Voltron, everyone hates on Brad's drafts picks at first. A year afterwards, they all run back and say, give that draft an A-O, and they will add, quote, I never said that it was bad. That was someone else. Fair, yeah, 100%. A lot of revisionist history will take place. Silver Surfer, they will all blend perfectly. Tidely, good kid, powerful, explosive, heavy, rat pack with that mullet is already in. Diesel will be welcomed by all and loved by Dan, Morton, and Goff. Big, fast, smooth. Yeah, and the fact he obliterates people in the run blocking, that's where I think, my personal opinion, the love affair, at least for Brad Holmes, came into play. He saw him out there blocking like a tight end, a powerful tight end, and then the fact he is 6'4" with a ton of speed. That can't, he gets in and out of breaks incredibly well for a rookie. I think there's a lot to like there. All right, Lad of the Hunt, good morning. Back at you. Voltron, I don't know about anyone else, but I am drinking this morning. Maybe I need to do. Hey, do it up in there. Steve Rogers, this class comes down to how quickly the coaches bring them up to speed, sort of like last year's group. Yeah, and I do think we'll see some positive results from last year's group this year. Hookadoo, I hear you, Voltron Force. I will wake up at 5:15 and just can't get with the program. Yeah, I get up about that time, maybe a little bit earlier. I don't know, somewhere around there. Let's see, Silver Sir, Frazier, same as Ratledge, O-line is like a welcoming home. Supposedly they are the good people who protect the focus of the offense. I made the Sheik. I heard that he does exactly what the coaches tell him. Yeah, and again, won't spend a ton of time on it, but I think you're right. All these guys are basically of similar mindsets. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point. The schedule comes out in a week, question mark. I'm ready to see how the NFL places our games. I think you're going to see the Lions get the Lions' share of primetime placement games, and I do think we'll probably play on Christmas and Thanksgiving, so it is what it is. You can look at it as playing 2 short weeks, or you can look at it the positive way and say, hey, you got 2 different 10-day breaks late in the year. Term Reaver, good morning, and Duke Crew, woo, back at you, Silver Server. He does it to the point of sticking even to much of what the coach says. I mean, a saying that is. Yeah, I got to get that name down, man. I'm working on it. Tori Apple, finally able to make a live show this time of year. It's a challenge with the kids and work. Coach, can I get a woo? Woo, how about that? I'll give you 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Drum Reaper, all right. Let's see, Bo. Good morning, Duke Crew. Strawberry margarita or daiquiri. Any blend will do. Woo! And say, hey, you're kicking the morning off right. Trey, what's going on, everybody? Question mark. 2 months from now, we will be in training camp. Do we still have a rookie OTAs before then? I don't see those on the schedule. Yes, we do. I don't have the dates. I want to say in there like 2 weeks. So, server, Dan Jackson will be a special teams ace and a sub back there in Kirby's land. Wide receiver, love it. Question mark. I see speed, fluidity, good hands, good movement. Hope he sticks and plays. I love seeing rookies play. We'll see if they do. He's going to have to battle for a spot, though, for sure. Hookadoo, bottoms up, Bo Booth. Jess, greetings, salutations. How many did you have yesterday, Bo Booth? We'll find out. Trim Reaver, share Bo. Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan the Duke Crew. Woo! We are family. We are the Duke Crew family. Silver Sir, Hussein will be definitely part of the rotation. They'll tell him, Sheik, go collapse the pocket and harass the quarterback if you can imagine. We'll find out. JC Gully, greetings, salutations, coach and crew, back at you. Bo, no strawberries, all right? Drake, so which one of these rookies gets the biggest run in year one? Question mark. Has to be Williams, right? I think Williams will definitely be in play, again, because of Lee McNeil. We'll find out if somebody else can also. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Greatest podcast on YouTube. Thank you for that. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very, very, very much for that. Hookadoo, server. Hedman was definitely an A+++ ad. I would agree with him. I think he's going to be a great ad. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, same to you. Hookadoo, Ahmed, yes, and I agree. Coach Rock, good morning, crew, back at you. Johnny, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, like to have everybody here. France, Drake Lisbon, in year one, I'll say Williams, Rat, or Frazier. Yeah, all of them, especially on the lines, 100%. Frank Tank, what up, though, East Side? Woo! Go Lions. Back at you, Frank. Good to see you. Henry Moore. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. What time to be a Lions fan. Thank you for that, and thank you for joining us once again this morning. Pierce, Bo Booth, and no to what else? We'll find out. Bo, they will all blend into the rotation. I like it. Black J.R. Jones, Duke Crew, top of the morning from the good old Garden State. Enjoy it, my friend. Glad you are here. Bo, I have no nose today. All right, well, go with the nose. Keitho, Pickens getting traded to Dallas might be true. Coach Rock, when you draft for the trenches, it isn't a pretty draft, but it gets a solid A from me and hopefully Dan O'Damas. Woo! You know what? We haven't seen Dan O'Damas in a hot minute. We'll have to get him over here. Central Scrutinize, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! And back at you, Robert. I am ready. Good morning, Dan and crew. Back at you, Robert, and good to see you. Kurt Steele, what up, Duke Crew? What's up, man of Steel? Look at it. Wow, my classic rock channel is rocking out today like the Lions will. Oh, yeah, I like that. Hookadoo, Man of Steel is in the house. Grit, he's got nothing but grit. Silver, no, Coach, call Rat Pack for the Head and Shoulders commercial. You know, that might be a great call. Man, we might have an entire Lions rookie class that can be over in the Head and Shoulders commercial. Mary Smith, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Trim Reaper, surely you can hit the like button. Don't call me Shirley, but yes, you can hit the like button. Robert, I have to change my prediction. I said 19-0. Actually, we need to be 20-0 to finish this thing. Hey, let's go 20-0. I like the way you're thinking. Answer 14. Good to see you, my friend. It's been a hot second. Greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Looking forward to team activities. I think some of the draft selections signal the possibility and possible end for the Lions time here. Martin Scoresdale, Kennedy, and maybe others will be gone. Yeah, it's not everybody's going to make it. We get it. And yes, probably a lot of those guys you listed will no longer be here. Chris Steele, good morning. Bo, Hookadoo, any Strawberry Fields forever on that station? We'll find out. Hookadoo, pitch in football. Courtney, I believe you are right. Robert Stevens, go Lions. I think you're both right. Hookadoo, got Joe Walsh rocking out now. Rocky Mountain High. There you go. Trim Reaper, yes, I hit the like button, and don't call me Shirley. I see what you did there. Bo, Rocky Mountain, why? Let's see. Hookadoo, I see the Beatles in the near future, Bo. We'll find out. Pierce, Bo Booth, I have one daily no laughing out loud. All right, Hookadoo, yeah, brain fart, it happens. Trim Reaper, Superman sighting? We might have a Superman sighting. Bo, the daily dozen Pierce, all right? Robert, 340 to 350. Yes, indeed. Yeah, he was a big dude coming in. Keith, I could see Williams taking some edge reps. I think so. I think him and Levi Onwuzurike could potentially do that. Robert, Williams ain't no 200. Yeah, I misspoke, man. I misspoke. Sorry, man, if I said 200 something. Angie, good morning. Duke Crew, hit the like button. Go Lions. There you go. Skip the Bears, says Johnny. Pierce, Bo Booth, you got it. Yes, indeed. Bo, 230. Are you dyslexic? I probably am dyslexic. So, yeah, I probably misspoke. Sorry about that, guys. 330 pounds. When he came in as a rookie to college, he was around the 350 range. So sorry about that. Miriam, what about Roy Lopez? I think he's going to have a pretty good run here. See, Chuck, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Back at you. Central Scrutinizer. Draft was equivalent of getting a set of Swiss Army knives. I'll take it. More grit. Yeah, we'll take the more grit indeed. Keith, 326 pounds. There you go. Kurt Steele, Trim Reaper, what up, Joe? William, greatest salutations. Dan the Duke Crew. Brad did it again. He's a drafting genius. Go Lions. I think, hey, every year he's around, you give those draft picks some time. They more often than not seem to pan out. Let's see, Silver Server. Coaches and GMs say a few words, but meaningful. When Campbell mentioned Manu, it meant that they have seen a lot of improvement and see a role in the field for them. We shall see. Yeah, and I do think, I mean, for Skipper's sake, I hope he makes it, but not everybody's going to make it. I just think Giovanni Manu, he's younger, he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger, he's cheaper. He probably takes that skipper role. Bo, Brad Odamas. Ooh, I see what you did there. The Trim Reaper. Good morning, Mr. Steele. Johnny, this is what's happening when you are late. I'm trying to catch up. Well, hey, you're catching up with me, man. Miles Martin, greetings, salutations. Literally, after 40 days and 40 nights, internet is back this morning. Hey, congrats, man. Thank you, exhausted line workers. Yeah, I know, man. Upper Michigan, I'm sure Canada. Yeah, you guys got obliterated with that ice storm, and I'm glad things are slowly starting to come back. Bo, Miles Barter. Oh, yeah. Keith, good morning and great salutations. Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Top of the morning to you all truly. I truly hope you all have a fabulous day today. Good day, mate. Go Lions all the way to the Super Bowl. 14-3. Good to see you, and I'll take a 14-3 season. Keith, I agree. I think it's a team-friendly deal. Oh, yeah, 100%. Bo, 14-3. Sherman Reaper, maybe we make a trade for edge by throwing in a few would-be surprise cuts. Could be indeed. Miles Meyer, happy dance. Neighbors calling each other at dawn. There you go. Hookadoo. This is great news, Miles Marker. You and the linemen have grit, 100%. And I know you've battled a whole lot of things these last 40 nights. Hookadoo, yep, 14-3. Nick, good morning. Exclamation point. I would love to be a fly on the fence when they go to training camp. Yeah, it would be nice to get that kind of inside information, wouldn't it? Trim Reaver, who's let the dogs out? We'll find out, but they were barking in favor. Keith, Eagles. Nick, Brad Holmes is a home run hitter. Yes, he is, man. He is the Cecil Fielder, Rob Deere, Mickey Tettleton of our day. Pierce, Bears home game? Yeah, I could. I would say yes, 100% there, Pierce. Pierce, the main game I want, I think a lot of us want it. Courtney, got to be NFC East. There you go. Bo, I want to see a commanding performance. I see what you did there. Silver Server, game of the year without a close second is Ben Johnson coming back to Detroit and vice versa. Agreed with that. Could be a show in the future. Pierce, Silver Server, Crick, and the Eagles game. There you go. Trim Reaper, tune in next week. Find out who indeed let the dogs out. We will reveal all in time. Bo, Jen let the dogs out. Probably true. Keith, I wonder what Dallas is giving up for that draft capital for Pickens. We'll find out. Manbear, good morning all. Back at you, my friend. Good to see you. Pierce Keito, I want to see the extension Pickens will get in Dallas. We'll see what he gets. Keito, let me see. Hookadoo, I want the Lions to be Lions to make the Bears extinct. I see what you did there, even though I wrecked pronouncing all of it. Trim Reaper, Tyleek is a wrecking ball. I agree. Robert, go green. Keith, green sanitations. Hit that like button, mates. Hit all the buttons if you would. Silver Surfer, Commanders are no rivals. They played well and whooped our behind. Respect for them, and let's see how the Lions deal with that quarterback who is scary, but also will be Caleb in Ben Johnson's hands. There you go. Stop the VTG. Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Like the thumbnail, by the way. Keith, go blue. Keitho. Let's see. Keitho, what do you got? Pierce. Yeah, that too. Laughing out loud. Pierce, Keitho, it will impact JMO's market. Probably to a degree. Keitho, perfect facts. Pierce facts. Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. Trim Reaper, waving. Silver Server. Pierce Sergeant, the Eagles game is going to be a measuring stick, but no hard feelings. More of a measuring stick, but rather lose the regular season game with them and beat them in the playoffs. I agree 100%. One of those you get to keep on going on with. Brian, good morning, everyone. Go Tigers, go Lions, Super Bowl bound. Woo! Back at you. Lauren Van Esch, Tate Ratledge, Mullet Mania. There you go. I can see people wearing wigs or whatever. They go to the games representing the mullet. Let's see, Robert. Call me bad. Once a year, I'll root for Ohio State. Go green. No wrong with that. Go with what you like. Keito, Pierce, Lamb, and Pickens going to be nice duo. I would think so. Chuck, T. Williams is going to be a big addition to our rush. That alone will help Hutch also. I think there could be a lot of truth to that, Chuck. Johnny L, I'm waiting for the Chicago Bears game. I think we're all waiting for that game. Robert, Tigers are on fire. Yes, they are. Pierce, Keith, don't scare me too much. Pickens has brick hands. There you go. It'll be hard for him to catch. Keith, Brian, and the World Series. Ooh, good call there. Pierce, Silver. Very true. I want to see how we would measure up. We're going to find out. Trim Reaper, just call me Angel in the morning. We'll do that. Bo, Ty and Hutch playing next to each other. Dogs and cats sleeping together. Question mark. Signs of the apocalypse. Could be true. Let's just go get a Super Bowl before the world ends. Guido, Pierce, I like Pickens, but not worried about them. There you go. Keith, game of the year, beat Washington Commanders. I'll take that. Nobody, Tapper, what do you got? You really like that shabby, you're having a word today? Haha. Yeah, well, I'll go with that, man. I kill a lot of words on here on a daily basis. Keith, Nick, yes, sir, exclamation point. Bo, Hillsdale is known for academics. Football, not so much. I agree with that. They've had some decent basketball teams, though, over my time coaching. I will say that. Server. I love Vinny Johnson, Rodman, Joe, Sally, Aguirre, Isaiah was incredible, but I could never stand Lambeer. He was but he was effective. He'd get you out of your game. Yeah, and you could hear a lot of different people over the ages talk about how he would try to get in their head, get them out of their game, and he did just that. Phil, Hillsdale is the best conservative university in the country. Could be. Lad of the Hun, look at the players, Brad, Holmes, Watts, and how they turn out. Gibbs, Jamo, Laporta, Branch, St. Brown, and now Tisla. There you go. Bo, I wasn't going there, Phil, but you're right, Phil. Truth, is never a bad idea. There you go. I'll add to the Hun. I'm a radical, not a conservative. All right, a radical conservative. How about that? Josh, any trade going to happen for next year? Picks for 2026? I'm not sure, Josh, if we'll trade someone at this point before the season. Make some trades for some 26 picks, but it could happen to your point. I'll add to the Hunt. Yes, Josh. Phil, radical conservative is all right. I'm undefined. All right, says Bo. Josh, who can trade for the draft in 2026? Anybody can trade draft picks right now for next year or 2027 or 8. Well done. Josh is TBD. There we go. Chuck, Ratledge and Frazier are both great tools to rebuild this offensive line, as some of the regular guys are about to age out. Go Super Bowl for the old guys before they are going. Yes, before they're gone, let's go get a Super Bowl for them, Chuck. Woo! And back at you. Bo, Coach has some speed reading to do. I'm powering through it as best I can, man. Let it done. He will have to be a Micro Machine commercial guy. Hey, I remember that guy. Hookadoo. Bo, laughing out loud. Dan forgot about the Duke Crew. Hey, I'm here, man. I'm doing what I can. All right, 2021. Cedric, what do you got? Jason Pierre-Paul says he is not returned. Would be the Lions. Check him out. I'm sure they'll kick the tires. Whether or not he's got anything left, we'll find out. Let on. If Brad Holmes signs Jason Pierre-Paul, then he should be fired. All right, Keith. Laughing. All right. Shop the VTG. Have they announced Lions games in Germany yet? Not that I'm aware of as of yet. Egon, love to see Dan Jones find his way into the special teams or special plays. He comes flying out of the cannon. We'll see if they can get him over there. Keito, Letta guy has been listening to Lions Synthetic. That's why he asked that. Okay, Jax, I figured that's what you meant, Egan. But hey, I'm trying to power through and read everything here. Robert, Brad is filling the roster with players coming into their game, not at the end of their careers. Probably true. Very true. Landon Nitho Nitch. All right. Let's see. Nitch. All right. Keito Robert laughing. Black J.R. Jones. Good morning. Duke Crew from the Garden State. Hey, back at you. Hopefully you're having a good morning. Brian, got news yesterday. Max Crosby is building a sports complex in his hometown of Lapeer, Michigan. Woo! That's real awesome of him. And yeah, I think there was a story about that. Jonathan, good morning. Bag at you. Lions Syndicate wants the Lions to sign him. I have a minus 100% interest in picking up a 40-plus-year-old washed-up edge rusher. We'll see what they do. Guido, Google already has Pickens as a Dallas player. There you go. Black J.R. Jones, hit that like button. One Pride. Thank you for that. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. You guys know what to do. Derek, good morning. Coach and Duke. I'm circling both the Bears games. Skip the Bears. I think that's probably a good job there. Keito, a lot of the same here. Trim Report. Maturity isn't an age, it is a destination. Scott Mitchell, the wise man on top of the hill. Keito, Brian, that's what's up. Keith, so what is the correct weight? For Tyleek Williams, he's reportedly 330 pounds. Some have him at 340, 350. We'll see where that actually is. Robert, it sucks, but yeah, Skipper is probably not going to make it. Yeah, he's He's got to, I mean, the good thing for him is he's versatile. That may aid him a bit. But you start thinking the numbers, man. You think about the starters last year. Yes, you're going to replace Zeitler, but you're doing that, I'm assuming, with Christian Mahogany. Now you look at all the backups. I think Giovanni Manu is going to make it. Both your rookies are going to make it. So right there, man, I mean, it's Graham. I mean, I don't. We'll see. We'll see. Todd, Philly, and KC. Either Robert agreed. Skipper is one of my favorite Lions players. I agree with that. Burns 11-6. Too many good teams on the road. Might be true. David, heard a rumor that Hutch isn't the same Hutch anymore. Worried? I doubt it. I doubt if there's any validity to that. So a broken leg, and now if you would have broke and did something to some of the nerves or muscles, that would be a little bit different. But I think he's going to be fine, man. Egan, I see Brad more like Ricky Henderson of the draft. Hey, all he does is get on base and make steals. I see your point. Trim Reaper, Teasley, Vanillatron, or Vanilla Grillo. We'll find out. Keito, Dave Hutchinson's going to be fine and already. Hutchinson's going to be fine and ready to go. Hutch's dad is an ER doctor where my mom works, and they talk. All right. David, how you go? Rumors are just rumors. The proof will be on the field, 100%. And we can all say he's going to be fine. We can all say he's not. We won't know until he gets out on the field. Keith, need more Heath's on here and really confuse Coach Dan. You probably could. Keito, Hookadoo, 100%. James, could you get Zadarius Smith to do a spot on your show intro? Melifano is gone. I'd like to see Zadarius fill Melifano's spot on your intro. Once we get closer to the 53-man roster breakdown and we know who is going to be on the team, that's when I'll reach out and try to get some more players on here. Maybe I get somebody before then, but it's just tough because most of the guys, this is their downtime. They don't really want to do stuff. They start getting into the juices of, they're getting the season back. That's when I have an easier time getting a hold of some of them. Keith laughing. There you go. Trim Reaper. Have a great day, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. Paperback fan. Greetings. Salutations, Duke Crew. Have a great day. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Trim Reaper. We got to get Johnny Gaz on Lions Talk Live. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Just, trying to work out his schedule. He's got some younger kids. They've got sporting events. He and I do talk, fairly frequently, trying to get on his show, him on my show, etc. So I'm trying to make it happen. Kurt Sale, I was hanging in the background during chores, hanging out in the background doing chores. See you at 8 on the Boss Up Ball Out channel. We'll see you then. Keith, Coach Dan, your show is now the highlight of my morning. Exclamation point. Thank you, Coach. Have a great day. Thank you for being here, my friend. Paris, peace out, crew. We'll see you next time. Trim Reaper, see you there, boss. Lauren, see you at 8, Kurt. Trump's genius. Woo! All right, guys, if you guys all know the drill, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, if you would be so kind, I'm messing up things here. All right, if you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. Yeah, I probably should have just left this alone. Anyways, you guys all have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you guys all at the next Lions Talk Live. Have a great one, everybody. See you next time.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? How Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?